Greetings, Hallowmaniacs. It's Steph here, and today we're going to do a little bit of a different kind of video. So Joe and I went and we bought a Halloween lot off of Shop Goodwill, and this was described as a vintage Halloween lot. So I would say vintage as far as like probably 80s, 90s, some 2000s, and maybe even a little 70s. We'll see, but we want to see if we got taken on the price or if we made a really good deal. So stay tuned and let's go. All right, so we have a little bit of a different kind of video for you installed today. So if you're new to the channel, we are the Hallowmaniacs, and we love everything Halloween all year round. In today's video, we bought a Halloween lot off of Shop Goodwill. It was labeled as a vintage Halloween, and we wanted to see what the price that we paid, which we'll reveal at the end of the video, with shipping and without shipping, so we'll include both prices. And we want to see if we got taken or if we got a great deal. So the first items are these vintage resin figures. So probably somewhere around the 90s, maybe early 2000s. But this one right here, the skull, he was actually still, or skeleton I should say, is actually still in the package here. And I did look and research, and while I couldn't find it because I think there was probably more than just this right here in the collection, but these are some really cool detailed figures. I love the green on the witch right there, that jack-o'-lantern, kind of scarecrow, Dracula. We have the ghost holding the pumpkin. This wizard, I think he is really cool with the little pumpkin in his hand and the skull staff, as well as the skeleton holding the pumpkin. And I'm looking online. It was kind of hard to really find the exact ones, which I did see. The wizard here for $8.99 or best offer. I saw a couple of them paired, you know, a set of 3 for $20-something. And I'm not going to include the shipping prices. So for this video, we're not including the shipping. It's just going to be the bare minimum that we think that we could get for the items here. So I'm going to look at sold items. I'm going to look at recently listed ones and really kind of narrow it down because we want to be fair and see what we could get. So I'm going to say, just based on a couple of the screenshots here and what I could find, they'd probably be worth about $4 each. They may go for more, and I have seen them listed a little bit for more. They may go for a little less, but on average we will say $4. So that's going to bring our total up to $24 right now. Okay, so next up, I wasn't sure and I had to do a lot of research to find out what this actually was and is. It was actually from 1986. It's a He-Man bubble bath hand claw from probably one of the top part of the bottles, and there is not many on sale. The only one that I found that was listed, and I think it's completely ridiculous, is for $170 or best offer. I have a hard time actually believing that this would go for that, so I'm not going to include that in the price. I will probably be very conservative. Tell me otherwise if you are a vintage collector of He-Man, but I'm going to say $5 for this. That brings our total up to $29. Okay, so this is a really hard find, but one that really attracted me to buying this lot because I saw this little vintage pop-up squeaker toy. So when it goes down here, I'll kind of put up in here. See, hear that little squeaker? It reminds me of those little pumpkins that pop up and you hear them squeak that were from Fun World. So I think this is probably more 1980s, maybe 70s, but I think definitely 1980s. And I cannot find the exact match online, so it is really hard. I have seen it before, and I want to say it was going for $20-something at the time, but I cannot find an actual match this time around, which bums me out. But again, since we are being conservative, I'm going to put $10 on this here. So that brings up our total to $39. Next up, the lot had a little bit of like kind of these little fabric homemade pumpkins, which I'm going to say $1 for the both of them. I think, again, they are cute, they are vintage, and they may be worth more. But for the purpose of being conservative, let's say $1. So that brings us up to an even $40. Now, I just love this. This is actually made in Japan from the 1960s. It's a ceramic scarecrow. And what I could find out about it online is there was actually 2. So there's one that had an orange coat or orange reddish, and then this version with the green. So there may have been more figures, but definitely the two that I've seen paired up, they went together. And I could see one that was in the orange coat, or orangish reddish, I should say, for about $20 for best offer. Some of them were even going in pairs, so selling for $50 to $75 for the pair. So I'll say, and I'll put this at $15. So that's going to bring our total to $55 even. All right, so this next one is a plastic. It's a vintage scarecrow. Not to go with the last scarecrow that we just seen, but this one is cute. It's plastic. It does have a little bit of chipping on the paint, but I did see different versions online. You'll see that there was one for about $15. And it had different renditions of how they painted. Like here, this one's painted brown. I've seen some with a red coat, a green coat. So, you know, maybe it was an at-home craft that you could take it, you could paint it, or they just made different versions. Regardless, I would probably say, and just again, because this one has a little bit of chipping on the paint, it's not chipping in the material or the plastic, just so you can tell where the paint came off. I'm going to say, to be conservative with it, let's do $7. So that's going to bring our new total up to $62. All right, so this next item's from the 1990s, and it's a little plush with a suction cup here. I kind of threw it over there so I could better display it. Bat that's hanging. So I wasn't able to find a lot of them online, but I did find one where it was priced at almost $12 without shipping. So I'm going to go ahead and say probably could at least get $5 for this. So that's going to bring up our total to $67. All right, next up, and I'm going to include these together. They are vintage Russ, kind of little cloth ornaments. And here, this one says creepy on it with a little bat. He's adorable. And then you have the little Boo Ghost here. And this one has a little suction cup on it. But I like these. I think they're really cute. I had a hard time finding the exact one. I did see a group that was selling the Boo one in here, as well as I saw, you know, ones that look similar to the creepy. But based on what they go for, I'm going to say $3 each for the both of these. So $6 total. So that's going to bring our new total up to $73. So the next item that we have is from the 1980s, and it looks like it was a cloth or satin Avon magnet. So this bat, I love the coloring on him. I found one that was selling 3 different Avon magnets from the 1980s for $24. Here you can see he's got his little feet here. He is relatively thin, so there's not much to him. On the back, you can see the magnet here, and I would say probably you could get around $3 single, you know, maybe a little bit more, but again, I just want to lowball it for this, so we'll say $3 here. So that's going to bring our new total up to $76. Now, aren't these a cool little dynamic duo right here? I love this, the skeleton and the witch on wheels, and they actually are true, real wheels, so on their skates here that you can kind of zoom around. And they're those little bendable figures, so probably from the 1980s or 1990s. And I couldn't find the exact match, but I was kind of looking at other time era bendables, and, you know, they would go anywhere from $15 for a price of $2, you know, anywhere. The cheapest I saw was like $6, $7. So I'm going to say, just because they do have real wheels, they are cool vintage looking retro, I'm going to say probably about $5 each, so for $10 for the 2. And that's going to bring our new total up to $86. All right, so our next find is from the year 1978 and is a Hallmark little black cat here with the witch's cap on. And isn't this little kitty cat cute? I'm looking at it, I can see anywhere from going from $10, $15, or $17 to $20 for him, so, or her. But I think this is such a cute deal, cute little find, and I'm going to say $7. So that's going to bring our new total up to $93. So this is really cute, and we actually have one already, and this came in the lot. It's a vintage skull pin that you wind up and the jaw moves. And I'm going to say I saw them anywhere online where some of them, they went for $5. They went up to $12.95. So I'm going to go ahead and price this one at $4. So that's going to bring us up to $97. So this next thing is a cute little figure here. And on the back, you'll see it's got its little eyes here. It has a Happy Halloween Black Vest. I'll show you. So kind of doing an image search and trying to find some information. It was really hard to find anything on the front side, but when I did that, I was able to pull up some figures that had similar little Happy Halloween vest on here. So, and kind of looking at what they go for, you know, I saw them kind of being sold in multiple lots. So I think I saw one that was 20 something dollars for a lot of 3, but I'm gonna, again, kind of lowball it here, and let's put a value tag of $3 on this one. So that's gonna bring up our new value to an even $100. All right, so we have 2 little troublemakers here for our next find, and I say troublemaker because doesn't that look like the face of trouble right there? But honestly, I love this little jack-o'-lantern with a ghost body, and I did see where one sold, and I'll put it up here for $25 on the jack-o'-lantern, and I saw a current listing for the ghost here for 2 of them for, I think it was $12 and some change. So I'm going to just say for the 2 of these, let's put a price tag of $15 for the 2 of them, and that's going to give us a new total of $115. But I love these finds. I love it. I have like this other little ceramic ghost that has holding the little pumpkin, and this will look really amazing right next to it. And maybe I'll throw that little troublemaker in there too. So this next little find, I honestly don't know what this is. This was just supposed to be a top like for your pencil, a stir, you know, it's a blow mold. It's obviously plastic, the skull, and he's really adorable. He was made, I can see, I was looking at it, it does say Hong Kong in the back here, but I cannot find an exact match with this. It was kind of, and I'll scoot it up here so you can see, but it was kind of on this little, almost like a straw. So I don't know what it is, but still, nonetheless, I think he has that vintage retro look, and we'll give him a price tag of $3. So that'll bring our new total up to $118. All right, so this next one is a throwback from the 1990s, and it's a wind-up Frankenstein toy. I've seen it go anywhere from $5 to $15. Let's see if he still works. Okay, so he does wind up. Come on. Oh, he just doesn't want to walk on my table, but he does work. Little feet going here. Let's see, go, go, go. Oh, he stops as soon as I put him down. I think it's just the surface of the board here, but yeah, I'll say probably $5 for him. So that's going to bring up our new total to $123. All right, so who's a fan of Snoopy? I think he's so cute. I love Snoopy. And I love this figure right here, especially with the Happy Halloween cape on there. So these actually really surprised me. I was looking up and I saw where the cheapest one that I could find was $34.99, and it went all the way up to $60 something. So I was very surprised. But this is from 1986, and you know, just things were made with such cool quality back then. I don't know if this was a Happy Meal toy or just a little figure that was sold separately, but I love it. I think the idea of it is so cute, especially with that Happy Halloween cape. And just because I could find such good prices on it, I'm going to put $20 on it. I'm not going quite up to the $35, but that is going to bring our new total up to $143. So this one is a surprising kind of turnout or result, and also a continuation for those that love Snoopy. So I love how he's popping out of that little jack-o'-lantern face. Cute alert. And I was looking online and I saw anywhere for, somebody was selling it on eBay for $140 something, which I think is a little crazy, but it is part of the Jim Shore Halloween collection. So that name is definitely familiar, especially in the Disney world. I'm very familiar with the name Jim Shore, and I think this one is just absolutely adorable. I've seen another website, I saw a lot of them being sold on Asian websites or Mercari on the Japanese website. So there was, I think that one went for $60 something. But again, we're going to be conservative. So I'm going to put a price tag of $25. And that's going to bring up the new total to $168. Now, isn't this adorable and cute and neat and all just great things? Here is a little pumpkin on wheels. I love this concept. It's from 1989, and this Applause little race car. They call it Pumpkin on Wheels race car. And I can't find many of them online, but I did find one that was going for $13 and some change. So again, I'm going to be conservative with it and give it a price tag of $5, which is going to bring up our new total to, let me see here, $173. All right, so I'm going to do a little pause here. We're sitting at about $173. And again, I just wanted to pause because I know maybe some of you are questioning some of the prices that I'm doing. And I know I've been using the word conservative a lot because I do want to lowball it. Just because somebody has something listed on eBay does not mean that it's going to go for that price. So I try to put like the bare minimum, and I do have sometimes like that one that was going for 140 something dollars. I have or 170 even. I doubt that it'll go for those prices. So I try to give a realistic price. But yeah, if you are one that maybe has seen an item that you're like, no, Steph, this is actually the real price that it's going for, yeah, drop us a comment. I would love to hear it because a lot of these items I don't know much about, but I know they are getting older now and they are from like the 70s, 80s, and 90s time era. So yeah, I love this so far. This next one here, I could not find any, but he reminded me of the little vintage Rosbro candy plastic pumpkins. It is not that. It's more of like I'd probably say a resin material, but this little gobbly gooker, kind of this little goblin coming out of it. So he's cute. I love it. It's on a spring here that you can see. I'm going to put a price tag of about $2 on it. So that will now bring us up to $175. So next up I have, it's like a little squishy puff ball. So it's a pumpkin jack-o'-lantern little ornament here. And it does have a little tag on it that does say it was from 1986, I believe. At first I thought it was 1985, but the writing was really small, kind of a little blurry right there. So I want to say, looking at it, it looks like 1986. But yeah, I'm going to put a price tag of $2. Was not able to find anything online comparable to it. But, you know, I think it's a cute little throwback to the 80s. It's a good time era. That is when your Hallowmaniacs, when they were born around there. Actually, 85 to be specific. But, yeah, love this little guy here. And now that brings up our total to, let me see here, $177. All right, so this next one I'm holding in my hand because it is little. And it looks like somebody's homemade craft that they made. So flipping it over, you can see that it's a magnet. They cut one of those little styrofoam craft balls in half and then glued a magnet on the back. And then on the front had like the little jack-o'-lantern face and the little eyes. And I think it is so sweet looking. So I'm going to say $1 for this just because I can't really find any comparable on it. And I would pay more for it. But we're just going to go ahead and put the dollar price tag. So that brings us up to $178. All right, so we have another one of those wind-up figures. And he does work. I did try him out here. Again, I have a little hard time with the board because it's so uneven. So I won't do it for this. But this is so sweet. I think it's probably something from the 80s or 90s. And I'm going to put a price tag because I couldn't find an exact match. But I'll probably say something about like $3 here. Give or take a little bit. And that's going to bring up our new total to $181. All right, so next up are a set of, at least it looks like a set, but it's 5 different cute little Halloween bears in different various costumes. You can see you have one with a bat, one that's kind of in the double ears here, little witch costume holding the jack-o'-lantern. You have the phantom, and this one right here, I don't know if that's just a goblin or almost like I thought it was a witch at first, but I think that's more of like a little goblin or something like that. But yeah, the phantom here, and they are just adorable. Cannot find the exact match, but you know, I see anywhere from ceramic figures going for a lot of them like this. $50, or you know, a lot of times you'll see more best offer. So I'm going to just say $5 for each of them, which would make this whole segment right here for $25. And that's going to bring the new total up to $196. And it's funny because as I'm going through, I forgot how big this lot is. So it's really cool to unpack this finally, kind of tally up and see if we got a good find. And again, we will reveal the price that we paid for it at the end, as well as what the shipping and just the actual bidding on the lot itself costs. So stay tuned. We got still some more to go through though. Okay, so the next 3 are kind of these cute little figures. This one reminds me of the Wizard of Oz, and I'm not sure if that should be the Wicked Witch of the West. Looks like it. This little green witch, I actually bought the same one here at one of the antique stores by our house, and I think I paid $6, $7 for it last year. And then here's this little skull that's kind of riding this witch broom, and I kind of put them together because they all had the same feel to it. They kind of look like the same time era, so maybe something around the 80s, 90s again. And I'll probably put a price tag, even though I paid $6, $7 for it last year. There's a little bit of wear and tear on it, especially on the hat up here. Same as well the nose here. The skull, this creature little guy here, looks like he's in pretty good condition, but I'm still going to put like $5 each on him. So that's going to bring up our new total to $211. All right, so here is a little rat on wheels, and it probably would go with the same time era and same thing as that little pumpkin on wheels. So I think we have that one priced at $2, so I'm going to do the same for this one. So that's going to bring our new total up to $213. All right, so how many of you had some of these when you were kids? I had little different versions of the little finger puppets. And I can remember being a kid, you know, I'm from the Midwest, so Joe and I are both from Michigan, and what we have out in the fall time is called cider mills. So that's where you get your cider, your donuts, and you go get your pumpkins, your apples. And I remember this one I went to, it had a little kind of Halloween store, and as kids, I remember the one thing I got, my parents said, oh, you can get yourself something. And I picked out the little finger puppets. So, and I ended up getting those again as an adult. It's funny how we all of a sudden will go back to our childhoods and try to look for things in adulthood that we had in our childhood. So, yeah, I'm glad that I got this one. I never had this one, but I can see anywhere where they go online from $25 for a set of 2. And I even seen another one that was selling for $12.99 for a set of 2. So I'm going to go ahead and price this at $6, and that's going to bring our new total up to $219. Uh-oh, I found another figure on wheels, and this time it's a little witch. And I'm going to go ahead and give it the same price as the $2. But yeah, she's adorable. I prefer the pumpkin and the witch over the rat, but hey, all three of them can go together. So I think they look pretty, they complement each other. We'll leave it at that. But again, that's going to put our new total, so with this $2 edition, up to $221. So here's another one. I think we had that little gobbledygooker, I said, that little goblin looking guy coming out of the pumpkin. Here's another one. So here he is. This one, he's missing his cap here, but I could probably get some glue on that and restore him back to what he should look like. But we'll do the same thing. We'll price him with $2, I think it was. And that's going to bring it up to $223. But I like him. I think he's adorable. I love this little jack-o'-lantern right here. And it really does remind me a lot of those vintage Rosbro candied little pumpkins. And I actually went and I got one just to show you for those that may not know what I'm talking about. But here they have the little plastic vintage Rosbro candy pumpkins here. And it kind of gives that same little look that I know they're kind of from different time eras, but aren't they cute and aren't they similar? Okay, so I don't really know where this guy came from, much about him. Looks like something maybe 80s, 90s. But he literally is just like a little ghost ball. He's cute, but I don't know much about him. But I'm going to give the $2 price tag on him, which is going to bring us up to $225. All right, so looking at this, these next 5 little items here are Raspberry vintage figurines from like probably the 1980s to maybe the 1990s. I know these are definitely from the 1980s right here, as well as this little witch here. Not sure about the bat, but that's why we kind of bought this lot too, as well as these little figurines we wanted to definitely put in our curio cabinet. But now after unboxing this and literally forgetting how much stuff is actually in this, we're going to need a third curio cabinet now. But I'm going to say probably, because I think it was this witch right here. She was going online for about $8 and some change all by herself. But I'm going to be kind of on the low end here. And I'm going to price it at $3 each for each one here. And that's going to be $15 for this little lot here, which is going to bring our new total up to $240. This next item here is from 1989. And it's a Hallmark collectible. And it was a little raccoon, which is with this little party hat on and this little Happy Halloween bag here. And I saw anywhere online from $10. I saw the cheapest, I think, at $3.50. So I'm going to do $3, which is going to bring up our new total to $243. All right, so this next item is sure to bring up some feelings for those kids that grew up in the 90s. And I know Casper the Ghost has been around a lot longer than the 90s, but I remember being a 90s kid, growing up to the movie that came out, and I love this figure. I love how it shows Casper kind of going through that little brick wall. This figurine came out in 1989, and I love that trick or treat right there. But definitely could see it going anywhere from $10, $15. I'm going to give it a price tag of $5, a little bit more just because Casper is such a, known figure. And yeah, I think that's going to bring up our total to $248. Well, I found another one. So we had those two little goblin looking guys coming out of the pumpkins here. And here is a cute little ghost. I'm going to still give it the same price tag, even though I think this one right here is cuter. I love the ghost. But I'm going to still give it the $2 price tag, which is going to bring us up to $250 even. All right, so I found another little adorable ornament. This is a black cat coming out of a jack-o'-lantern. Cannot find anything exactly online that matches, but I'm going to give it the $2 price tag, which is going to bring us up to $252. All right, and who loves spiders? So this one here looks almost like somebody's homemade spider ornament. And then here you have another one with the little suction cup. It reminds me of that one that had the bat. So I'm going to price this one, kind of looking at it, at $3, as well as this one right here at $2. So that's going to bring up our new total to $257. Now here, kind of going through, I found another little bat. Not sure if this is somebody's homemade, but I still think it's adorable. That little green nose. I'm going to price it with $2, so that's going to bring up our new total to $259. So now this thing right here almost looks like something that you would put on a doorknob. And I say that because, let me flip it on the back here. It's got like this little scrunchie that almost seems like you could wrap it around there. But then looking a little bit furthermore, I can see it's got a little tag here. So maybe it is just an ornament. Now, I can't really find the exact match online, but it looks like it's something that came from the 80s or the 90s, like most of the slot hair. And I'll probably give a price tag of about $3. So that's going to bring up the new total to $262. I like this, though. I like that little orange hair here. I think he's unique. So this next one, I was super bummed. So last year, I was at an antique shop, and I debated because I really liked it. He's a Fun World bendable pumpkin figure, and I ended up passing on him at the store. I think he was priced at like $10 or $12, and I wanted to get him, but then again, who would know that I would get a big lot? And here he is. He was actually included in it. So I'm going to go ahead and give him a price tag of $6. I saw him going anywhere from $8, $12, $10, things like that, but I'm still going to price it at $6. And that's going to bring up our total to $268. So next up I found, I think it was part of the Wizard of Oz I've seen, but it was 1988. And it's a little figurine that I can see anywhere from, they had the whole set that was going for 5 of them for $35. I saw some of them going for $10 each. I'm going to give it a $6 price tag. And that's going to bring us up to $274. Now these next things are a bunch of like little wooden signs, and I'm going to just kind of group them together because I can't really find a lot of them priced by themselves. I love the little ghosts, and I think these will look cute as little additions into a curio cabinet or little graphics onto another item. But I'm going to give it a price tag of $2, and that's going to bring us up to $276. All right, and here is a vintage from the 1980s, a little bat figurine here. And I'm going to give it a price tag of $4. I saw anywhere that they went from about $10 or so, give or take a little bit. I'll put some screenshots up, but we're going to go ahead and put $4. So that's going to bring our new total up to $280. And next up in the lot was a 1983 Alvin and the Chipmunks kind of figurine here. So I'm not sure if this was really Halloween, but I guess it could be. I guess little chipmunk could be enjoying Halloween in a little wizard costume here. And I saw anywhere online from $3 to $5, so I'm going to keep it at $3, and that's going to bring us up to our new total of $283. All right, so I saw this little figurine. It's from the 1980s. It's a Hallmark, and it's got like a little witch chilling out in her bubble bath in her cauldron. So I think it's cute with the little flames at the bottom here. And I saw anywhere, you know, they're trying to charge 20 something dollars, 15, and then I saw one then that was going for I think $4 and something change. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep this at $4, and that will bring up our new total to $287. Okay, so this is a little vintage applause figure, and I cannot find much about him. He's a little monster here. I like his little face and those little googly eyes. But I'm going to say probably around $3. And that's going to bring up our new total to $290. All right, so this is a find that I'm really excited. And I did some research and I found that these are, and it probably is the same with that skull that we were looking at. They're pencil toppers or candy stick toppers. And you put, like, you could kind of see the opening on this one. And that one's a little bit different from, let me flip this one here. Then you can see this one right here, but they're all from the 1960s. They're a little blow mold, and I think they're adorable. And I can see anywhere where they go online for 30 something or more. The cheapest I seen was $16 and some change, but I'm going to price them at $15 each just because they are from the 1960s. And that's going to bring our new total up to $335. All right, so this next one is a vintage Russ bendable witch. So she is really cute, and you can tell she's really thin. Then here, she's got her marking on the back, and yeah, I've seen anywhere from, you know, around $10 all the way up to, you know, or even $8 all the way up to 20 something dollars. So I'm going to give her a price of $7, which is going to bring us up to $342. All right, so I found another bendable witch here. I think she's from the 1980s as well. And I saw she goes anywhere from $2 to $15. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it at the $2 price tag just because she has a little bit of color bleeding and, you know, it's kind of showing her age there. But she is a great little figure. I think she's super adorable. Little broom here. That's going to bring up our new total to $344. All right, so our next one is going to continue with the little bendable action figures here. So this time it's a little skeleton, and I believe it's from the 1980s as well. He has a little bit of dirt on him. I got to clean him up here, but he is approximately, probably we're going to stick with the $2. So that's going to bring up our new total to $346. All right, so I found a vintage Lucy figure, and I saw one that actually sold for $32. I'll put the screenshot up there, and you know, I'll go ahead and price this at $15. I'm going to not do the $32, but I'm definitely not going to undercut it too much because I feel like if you see one that's actually sold, you know it's going for that price. So that's going to bring up our total to $361. So here I found a vintage Fun World pencil topper, and it's this really adorable little skeleton with blue coloring on it. And I saw anywhere go from $10, two of them for $12 or $13. And, you know, I'm going to go ahead and price this because I feel like we could get probably $7 from it, considering it is from Fun World. So that's going to bring up our new total to $368. All right, so next up, and we are getting towards the end of the lot here, but we have 4 different bear kind of plastic figures here, all in different various costumes. I like these. My favorite one I like is probably the little bear with the actual pumpkin costume carrying the ghost candy bag. But they are all adorable here. And I would probably say that I would probably conserve it because I've looked and you see anywhere from $4 to $7 each, but I would probably do $3 for each one. That would give us, let's see, 3, 6, 9, 12. So $12 for this total here, which is going to bring us up to a total of $380. So not bad so far. All right, so next up we have a little vintage figure with a bear with one jack-o'-lantern ghost in one hand, a ghost in the other, and then a little stepping on another little jack-o'-lantern. So now this is part of the Berry Scary Treater 8. It is a rust berry, I believe, and it was made in Indonesia, probably sometimes in the 80s or 90s. And I would give it probably a price tag of about $3, just kind of comparing to what I see online. And sometimes you'll see them in lots. So sometimes people will charge a little bit more if it's like individual. And then I feel like you'll get a better deal priced if it's in a bulk lot of something else. But so kind of taking those two into consideration, I'm going to give it $3, which is going to bring us up to a total of $383. All right, so next up I have a little ceramic figure, and it's from the 1990s of a little boy in a bat costume. You can tell he's got his candy apple there, and he is so sweet. I'm going to price it for base what I can kind of find out a little bit about it at $5, so that's going to bring us up to $388. So next up we have a little rubber figure. It's kind of a little squish toy, and you can see it's a black cat kind of standing on a jack-o'-lantern with a little monster peeking out. Turning it around, you can see that is actually from 1991. And I saw where they go anywhere from even $5, $7, all the way up to $12, $13, $15. And so I'm going to go ahead and give this a price tag of $5. It's got really good color. It's not worn out in any area, so that's why I'm going to give it the $5 mark. And that's going to bring our new total up to $393. Now, I know some people could be afraid of clowns. That is a real thing. So, but this clown, he looks so cute. He is an UNESCO vintage figure with a little dog popping out of a trick-or-treat bag. So, kind of just looking at a lot of these UNESCO figures will go for $10, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. I'd like to say Halloween goes for a little bit more, but I'm going to go ahead and still keep it at a lower price tag of $4. And that's going to bring us up to a total of $397. All right, so after this lot, I'm kind of looking at, I have a lot of little, it looks like little ornaments. So I really need to go with this year of having a Halloween tree. So I feel like that could be in our future. But I love this. This is an UNESCO figure, and it's probably late 80s, early 90s, and kind of just going back with what we, had the other ones priced at. I'm going to still stick with the $3, even though I see it anywhere from $6 to $7 to $10. I'm still going to lowball it a little bit and put it at $3, so that's going to bring us to an even $400. This is the last item here, and this is from 1974, and it is a Playmobil toy. So you can see in the bottom here, it says 1974. I did see where some of them, they were actually marked, so maybe they made this toy longer. It went from the 80s into the 90s, but this one's a 1974 version, and it's a little ghost here, and you can see sometimes, a lot of times I saw online, they were missing this part here, this like ball and chain, so it can have this little ghost costume that goes over it here, and I'll show you that in a second. There we go, and then I'll have his little ball and chain with him. So he's adorable. I like him. He's unique. I've never seen this before. And I saw one that actually sold, so it did have a sold listing for $30 or $32. I'll put it up here, the screenshot. But I'm going to price it a little bit more conservative and say around $15. So that's going to bring the grand total of $415 for the video here. All right, so now the fun part. So we realized that we have about $415, give or take a little bit, in value here, and I wanted to reveal what we ended up actually paying for this. So I'll put a screenshot, but you can see the actual bidded price was $31.05, with a total shipping cost of $47.91. I think we did really good here, and I had so much fun making this video. I didn't realize how many things were actually into it as we're unpacking it, but I really did learn a lot. I was able to research, kind of see different eras of Halloween, and definitely found some things that brought back some childhood memories. So this was really fun. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't subscribed already, please like, comment, share. Let us know if you have any of these items or just Halloween items that you're on the lookout for. But yeah, also help us get to 1,000 subscribers because we're going to do a Halloween giveaway. So hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, remember to stay spooky.
Ooh, trick or treat.